here he is again, just like he just wrapped up one lecture and he's sliding into another one, which as a matter of fact, he is doing. So we're looking at this outline, the target market and market segmentation outline, and we've made it all the way down through this thing, looked at undifferentiated, differentiated, concentrated markets, looked at why segmenting is a good idea, some things to check out when you're deciding if you should segment, and then criteria for a viable market segment. We just did that on the prior video. And one of the things we said, can you operationalize this segmentation strategy, build the product, connect with the customer, and just with distribution, getting it into their hands with this product, communication, linking up with them with that. And are there variables you can use to segment that market, to specify who's in it? And that's where we pick up right now. Variables used to segment. And this is around page 100 in the textbook. It talks about consumer markets. And then on page 101, it talks about industrial markets. I'm going to zero in on consumer markets but by analogy, you could take it to industrial markets. I'm going to zero on consumers, but so you think analogously to industrial if you care to. So one of the things I do, I kind of take a historical flow here, and I take them in the order that they kind of showed up in business as variables you could use. And so here's what we've got. If you can see that, we've got 4 categories. This is a little different than the book has, but we've got geographic. Where's geographic? We've got demo, where's demo? Back there, demographic. We've got psycho, what the heck is that? Psychographic, what the heck's that? And then behavioral variables. So we got these 4 categories we use, and I'll kind of link it up to the textbook. It's a little different than they provide, but I'll show you what's going on and maybe why I'm doing what I do. So there's the 4 categories, and that's what you see. You got 4 spots there on the outline. And I'm going to give you a little sampling, just some stories, some examples from each of these categories, and kind of give you a taste of it, a little flavor for those variables. And so we're going to start historically, looking at geographic variables. And these variables, just kind of by default, they came into existence because, how about climate differences around the country? Looking at US specifically, but think of climate differences around the country. Climate and terrain and whatever else. So, how about that shoe strip stuff that we did? Remember that? I'm gonna bring you over here so you don't lose me as much as you do. That shoe strip, remember that? That little exercise we did, putting that stuff on the ball of your shoe, on the heel of your shoe, and then you can negotiate packed ice and snow. That might not work everywhere, okay? So there's a geographic kind of dimension to that. So we got, air conditioning versus down clothing. We've got stuff like, look at this. How about quake secure? You don't need this stuff so much now, but if you're down in the Bay Area, you got your favorite vase. Is it a vase or is it a vase? Up on the mantle, things are rocking and rolling a little bit in the Bay Area. You don't want to lose your favorite vase. So you put this stuff sticks on the bottom of it, keeps it in place. You don't need that so much in Spokane, but maybe in San Francisco, you might need that. So you got things like geography and climate and some of those kind of things. Here are some, how about population density? That's a geographic segmentation variable. Rural versus urban versus suburban. Where do you need the deadbolt locks? Where do you need the security alarm systems? I found out I couldn't I put a chain link fence around I live over in the ghetto over here, a mile and a half from campus in the Spokane ghetto, and had a chain link fence put up around the yard. And I wanted to put the little pointy end of the chain link fence up, but I'm trying to get that pointy so it looks okay. They won't let you do that, not in the city, you know. They won't let you do that. Here's another thing I was interested in. What is that? That's in Texan. That's how you'd say it if you're in Texas. What is that? That's Bob War. I couldn't put the pointy end of that chain link fence up, and I wanted to put some barbed wire. I wanted to put some barbed wire on the alley. Yeah, well, the creepers are going through the alley. I put the barbed wire out there. You know, get the chain link fence, the barbed wire in the back, set the dogs loose. Yeah, I feel secure in the Spokane ghetto. Okay, Bob War, that's Texan for barbed wire, right? So you got climate, geography, population density. Those are all part of the geographic segmentation variable. But let's see, we've got some other stuff here. We've got some things that are just regional differences. Here's something that Maxwell House Coffee used to do. I don't know if it still does this, but it would sell Maxwell House this coffee nationally, but the blend was different depending on what part of the country it was sold in. So out in the West, it was a stronger blend of coffee than out East. I don't know. That was years ago. No, that was General Foods Maxwell House Coffee. Reynolds with R.J. Reynolds with what do they call? They call it Altira. What the heck are they called now? Selling cigarettes. They kind of divided up the Chicago area into subgroups because certain products were more popular and more targeted at parts of the regions because of concentration of folks in certain regions of the city. So they did that. You think about ethnic concentrations, the South, Southwest, other things, subcultures, this kind of stuff kind of maps into geographic segmentation variables. Here's some other segmentation things that are just kind of geographic, some differences regionally that are some of them are kind of mysterious, like Pittsburgh that metropolitan area, Pittsburgh, consumes 50% more mouthwash per capita than Seattle. Maybe they need it, but they use more mouthwash. How about the hot dog? Americans consume 20 billion. That's probably gone up because this is a little old. 20 billion hot dogs a year. You know how many that is per person? 80 hot dogs per person. And there's a region in the US where the hot dog is king. They consume 40% above the national average, and the national average is 80 a year. Do the math. I don't know what are we talking about? 120 hot dogs, something like that per year. What part of the country? You know, if you're Oscar Mayer, you're kind of interested in that, you know. What do you guess? You're not here to tell me. All top 10 retail markets for hot dogs are, there's a little drum roll happening, southern states, Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama. Oh, and Seattle again is 34% below the national average. So if you're Oscar Mayer, yeah, you're gonna load up on making sure folks got their hot dogs down the south, and you know, maybe you can be a little more conservative up around Seattle. Here's a snack food product. Snack food, okay? And Spokies consume more of this snack food than any They did anyway. I mean, you know, stuff happens, stuff changes, but this was a snack food at a point in time. Spokies consume more of this snack food per capita than any other metropolitan area. Meth isn't a snack food. Okay, so you guessed wrong. You guessed wrong. Snack food. Okay. What could it be? You know, I'll show you. There it is. Where is it? Oh, it's potato chips, tortilla chips. More tortilla chips, 9 pounds per person, are eaten in Spokane, Washington than any other US market. What the heck? That's because of the high, large Hispanic population in Spokane, right? No, there's no large, you know, no, more per capita. Tortilla chips, what the heck? So some of these things are kind of mysterious, but if you're Frito-Lay, you know, that stuff like that would interest you, right? So there's a little taste. When you think about geographic things, climate, population density, whatever else, you know, stuff like that. Okay, you got a taste of that. Regional differences because of concentration of groups of folks. Next on the list is demographic. And people talk about demographics a lot, you know, demographic. Historically, that was the next area of concentration. But I had a little diagram. Well, I can just tell you about it. I mean, demographic variables, yeah, they're good, but how much do you know about somebody if you know these things? I mean, here's a demographic variable, just age. Demographics, you can be sucked into the demographic trap. Thinking that demographics are going to give you all you want. Here we got just some age variables. Here we're looking at, oh, how about some lifestyle kind of things, or some decision-making kind of things, some attitude kind of things, okay? Okay, so demographics are a rich set of items, but you can fall into the demographic trap and think you know more about folks than you really do, okay? I'll make sure there's the 4. We're doing these 4 right here. So what are demographics? Here's my definition pretty much of demographics. It's counting up folks and putting them into boxes. How's that? You're counting up folks and putting them into boxes. So on whatever variable, age, sex, race, religion, occupation, okay, whatever it might be. I say income, social class. Okay, so that's what you count folks up and put them into boxes. So like age, yeah, you know, I mean, at one end you got diapers, at the other end you got Attends, or one end you got Clearasil, on the other end you got Geritol. Do they still sell Geritol? It was like, I don't know if it kept you regular or what it did, but you know. So demographics. So you got age as, here was something, I'll talk more about this later on. Dog demographics. It was a dog food, it's called Cycle Dog Food. I think we talked about it later on. It was targeted at, it segmented on dog demographics. It had dog food aimed at puppies. It was kind of the middle-aged dog, the old dog, and the fat dog. Is fat a demographic? Maybe, I guess it is. Okay. So there was dog demographics. Here, let me show you something here. You know, think about age and think about getting targeted, you know, getting profiled. Look at this. Dear Mr. Helgeson, nobody enjoys thinking about death. God, thanks for making my day, you know? But the best time to plan for it is ahead of time. God, I'm going, well, thank you. You know, here's smart cremation. Hey, but then I got real excited. Look at this. Win. Look what I could win. I could win a prepaid. Is that for me? You probably didn't get one of those in the mail, right? It was I was segmented because I got one foot on the banana peel, you know, the other one, God knows. So, you know, using age as I was profiled, segmented because of my age. Thank you. Who it was, the Neptune says, thank you for making my day. Oh yeah, okay. You just have to face up to it, don't you? So age, sex, yeah. Who plays all those? Who wastes their life playing online games? Who are the gamers? Who waste their life as gamers? You know who it is. It's you guys. No, you're the big target for gaming. Okay, females, not as much. You know, the game folks, they tried back in the year, back to the days of Tetris. Okay, they were trying to figure out why women like Tetris. Apparently, they like to play that game. Back in the old days, they're trying to think, what is it about that game? How can we get females as hooked as guys on gaming? You know, they did psychological stuff, anthropological, physiological, because endorphins get cranked up, you know, and you get that feel good kind of thing going on. So, you know, so sex as is there a what's a female automobile? Why am I laughing? Because where do minivans fit today? I mean, back a few years ago, if you said what's a female, oh yeah, soccer mom, load them up the kids in the van and take them to soccer practice. So what's a female automobile? I mean, there's some, you know, that looks like they're targeting a female audience specifically. Maybe the Volkswagen Beetle. I mean, you could get back to vase. Okay, you could have a little holder for a vase on your dashboard, I think. So you think about automobiles, check that out. Watch in the marketplace, see if you see some that are kind of look like they're targeting a female audience. Here was a soft drink targeted at males. You know, it was low calorie. It was Dr. Pepper 10. You know, I had had ads like this. Hey, ladies, enjoy the film? Of course not, because this is our movie and this is our soda. Wow, there's an attitude. A man says that as he attempts to pour a soda in a glass during a bumpy ATV ride, he says. You can keep your romantic comedies and lady drinks. We're good. I don't know if that thing even survived. Dr. Pepper 10. Where is it? Where's the picture? God, there's a picture. Why can't I go the right way? There it is. Dr. Pepper 10. Now target a soft drink, a low-cal soft drink targeted at males. Okay, well, you got this whole array of things. You got income, you got social class, you got Glenfiddich single malt 30-year-old Scotch versus Buckhorn beer. Do they still make Buckhorn? No, there's ends of the continuum on social class and income, maybe. Glenfiddich, that's what it is. Single Scotch, 30-year-old. Christmas is coming. Just, you know, there's 160 students in this class. You can chip in a few bucks a piece, get the old professor a fifth of Glenfiddich single malt Scotch. Just saying, you know, just saying. Okay, that's a little taste of demographics. I think that's, yeah, I'm over here. I'm off camera again. I've been spending a lot of time off camera, but okay, good enough. Now, how about this category? What the heck is it? So historically, there's the next one. Psycho. So we did geo, where is it? Geo, demo. Now we're doing psycho. What are psychographics, or what am? I don't know. What's psychographics? There's a chapter in the book that I can't keep out of. You know what it is, because we already jumped into it once with regard to the PISP model, the hierarchy of effects model from the textbook. Here's another topic. Can't keep out of that chapter. It's my favorite. Chapter 5, page 128 is where you find it. It's psychographics, AKA, also known as lifestyle analysis. And that's what's an indication of lifestyle? It's how you spend your time. It's how you spend your money. Think about that. You can know a lot about a person if you know how they spend their time and how they spend their money. Okay. So this isn't presented in the book as a segmentation variable, but it's kind of like, you know, if you look on page 100 in chapter, God, is that 4? You look on page 100, you know, it has 3 categories, and there's this behavioral category. We're going to talk about some things. So this is kind of like thoughts. How about that? Thoughts under the behavioral category in the textbook. So psychographics, lifestyle analysis, how you spend time, how you spend money, and how do you measure these things? How do you evaluate lifestyle? Well, you know, the idea of spend time and spend money, but here's a little picture from page, oh, I don't know, well, it's around page 128. How do you assess consumer lifestyles, psychographics? And it's a more modern category of segmentation variables. It can be measured by looking at these A, I, O, come on, stay up. A, I, God, I did it again. A, I, O, E, I, no, A, I, O measures activities, interest, and opinions. If I know how, you know, activities, how you spend your time, that's money too. How you spend your time, activities, interest, what do you spend your money on? You know, that gets at spending time, spending money. What do you invest your time in? What do you spend your money on? And then opinions. Kind of round it out so you know this person. You think about demographics. Demographics are like bones of the individual. I know your age and income and occupation and whatever. I know your race and religion and whatever else, these broad categories, ethnic, racial, national background, whatever. I know all this stuff about you, but that's a skeleton. You want to put flesh on the bones, and you step into psychographics, lifestyle, spending time, spending money, activities, interests, opinions. So that's where this fits in, and it's a more modern set of segmentation variables, psychographics. So what you get, I'm giving you a handout in the text, in the packet, okay, a handout in the packet out there on Blackboard. It's underneath this outline on, you know, target market segmentation. It looks kind of like this. I mean, the top of this is kind of weak. You know, here we've got some demographic stuff. It says on lifestyle, I don't know how much that's lifestyle, but, you know, we've got blue collar, we got new conformists. Well, those are kind of more lifestyle kind of things, maybe. But, you know, here we're looking at, this was done by retailers, you know, and, you know, kind of label them as different folks and their attitude toward shopping, you know, how they're oriented, you know, they're assured, they're expedient, they're eclectic, they're exploratory kind of stores they prefer. Here's the deal about psychographics. They're usually proprietary kind of studies. They're done by individual companies looking at their customers for their kind of product. So it could be sporting goods or athletic goods retailers. You know, maybe I'm a sporting good manufacturer or whatever it is, or I'm a cheese producer, whatever it might be. And I'm doing this research for my business. So it's not like it's across the board, like demographics. Yeah, that's just everywhere. You go to the census and you get all that stuff, and get stuff by region and city and parts of cities. Kind of the mix of folks in those areas, income levels, education levels, all that stuff. So, but this is done. These psychographic things are done on a proprietary basis by companies looking at their kind of products, looking at their kind of retail establishments. And so that's what you get. So this top one, yeah, that's kind of so-so. But this bottom one is a little more interesting because I think this was a sporting goods manufacturer or a sporting goods retailer, okay? And here they came up with these 8 psychographic segments. So we got the quiet family man. He's self-sufficient man who wants to be left alone and basically shy, tries to be a little involved with the community as possible. His life revolves around his family, simple work, and television viewing. He has a Mrkt fantasy life. I'm not surprised. So that's flesh. Here's the bones. Low education, low economic, older. Okay, there's the bones. But this fleshes him out. How he's living his life. Those AIO kind of things. You got the quiet family man. You got the ethical highbrow. What's this guy? Ethical highbrow. This is a very concerned man, sensitive to people's needs, basically a Puritan, content with family life, friends, and work, interested in culture, religion, and social reform. As a consumer, he's interested in quality, which may justify greater expenditure. So who's this person? Well-educated, midlife or upper economic. So midlife or upper, and status, upper economic status, mainly middle-aged or older. And down here, where's this rascal? Oh, the He-Man. I just want to do this because I know that's where a lot of the guys in this class fit. The He-Man. He is gregarious, likes action, seeks an exciting and dramatic life, thinks of himself as capable and dominant, tends to be more of a bachelor than a family man, even after marriage. What? Watch out, ladies, for that guy. Okay, and then what do we got down here? He's very, where is he? The He-Man. Well-educated, mainly middle socioeconomic, and youngest of the male groups. Okay, so there's the bones. Well-educated, mainly middle socioeconomic, youngest of the male groups. Yeah, that's some demographic bones, but here's some flesh, that AIO stuff. So this is a rich category of things. I got a couple other things here. This wasn't done by a company, but it's kind of a news item in, where was this? Business Week a while back. They came up with these groups. Look at these groups. The metrosexual. That's my son, except recently, because he's kind of become he's working at home. He's kind of become, he looks Amish. He's got an Amish kind of beard, wears a lot of flannel. Of course, he just moved to Portland, so you got to wear a lot of flannel because you're in Portland. He was a metro, though. He's kind of like, this guy's pretty spiffy, kind of concerned. It says, despite widespread reports of his demise, this affluent urban sophisticate, my son just moved from San Francisco to Portland. Yeah, think of loafers as objects d'art. Okay, and some brands. Okay, these are some guy, you got, where'd he go? Where's my Metro son? Oh, there he is, there, Metro. I don't know, I think he slipped. He hasn't slipped all the way to being retro. Starting to look a little bit that way though, after furring over, and he's wearing his hat backwards more too, I think. I have to show this to him. There's the dad. Is any species of guy more ignored? Once a guy gets married and has a few kids, they drop off the radar screen. When they do appear, all chances are they're goofy dad looking for advice. And here's some products. I got these different products that appeal to these guys. The retro guy, yeah. He's the Metro champions the female ethos with Go Girl. This guy screams stop. Okay, and kind of whatever. That's kind of an interesting little thing. Thinking about psychographics. This example doesn't even work. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. It doesn't work like it used to. I used to realize this was actually in the book until recently. Who is this? Do you know who this is? 1936, 1955, 1965. Look at these. I'll tell you who this is. This is Betty Crocker of the Betty Cooker Crock book. You know the Betty Cooker Crock book, right? Well, these are the old Bettys. Betty was a artist rendering, okay, over the years. But I think one thing that struck me as I looked at Betty over the years, and I got a color one over here, it used to be in the textbook actually. It speaks of lifestyle a little bit. I don't know about this Betty. She's pretty prim with those pursed lips there. But here, okay, how about this Betty? That Betty, that's my mom, Betty, right? Look at her. She's got, that's not gray, that's flour in her hair. Because this Betty Crocker could cook a pie from scratch. You know that? Honest to God. She's kind of cute. So is she. How about this Betty? How about that Betty? Betty used to be on packaged goods. Her picture was on package, like for cake mix and frosting. And she was on the front of the Betty Cooker Crock book. This lady, what do you think? And is mom smiling? Are those teeth showing there? I'm not sure. This lady, is that a smile? I give it a smirk. How about making a pie from scratch? I don't know. Hey, how about if you need tax advice? How about if you need some legal advice? Okay, I'm kind of voting for that Betty as high on the list there for professional services. Tax, legal, not bad in that regard. Okay, here's the current Betty. I'm surprised she hasn't changed, but there she is. And you know what? There's this Betty right here. This Betty. These Bettys were artist renderings. They just came up. I think Crocker. The name came from, he was the CEO back in the late 20s, early 30s of, this is General Mills, is that what it said? General Mills. Okay, remember we talked about General Mills, they bought out Pillsbury. There's our legal consultant right there. And here's the, and Betty was, that's where she got her name, from that Crocker guy. Betty gets, I don't know if she still does, but she used to get letters of proposal from lonesome guys, you know, they knew she knew how to cook. And so they'd send her, Betty, I'd like to meet you. Here's my phone number, or whatever, you know. So she's gotten letters of proposal over the years. This Betty is kind of interesting, and she's been around more than, I think she's getting, it says 2000 there. I think it was like 1996. She's getting close to 25 years. I'm surprised. But the deal is, she's no longer on packaged goods, as far as I know. I think her name is maybe under the spoon with a name in it. She's no longer on the front of the cookbook even. I think she's on the outside back page of the cookbook, maybe. So she's not as much of a figurehead as she once was. And so maybe that's why this one has been around so long. But you look at this Betty, she was a morphed Betty. They took 75 pictures of typical users of General Mills products, Betty Crocker products, and profiled them racially and age and some other things, and came up, this Betty is not just white bread Betty, you know. She's got a little, you know, these are all pretty much, you know, Anglo-Saxon kind of looking Bettys. This one's got a little ethnic thing happening, you know, kind of entered the modern age. And, but what's the point? Back to lifestyle. You know, look at this Betty. Now she's smiling. She's got jewelry on. I don't know. Looks a little different than this one, that's for sure. I'm not sure what it says about lifestyle, but a little different perspective, it seems, than some of these early ones, especially her most recent predecessor, the tax accountant, right? Okay, that's psychographics. And then this last category, I'm looking for my thing, it's buried over here, there it is. Okay, these are the most, okay, so historically, geo, demo, psycho, and now we're to this behavioral category. And this captures the items under behavioral on page 100, wouldn't you guess, in the textbook. So that's where you get these things, the behavioral things. And here's a little sampling of items under this heading. First, how about occasions? Oh yeah, how about like Mother's Day? And you know, Father's Day was founded right here in Spokane, Knox Presbyterian Church, three blocks from my house here. Sonora Dodd, was that her name? Yeah, founded Father's Day back in the 1910s or something. So occasions, you know, birthdays, anniversaries, graduation. I know several of you who are in this class are probably going to graduate from Gonzaga. I don't know if that surprises you, but several of you are going to do that. So there's an opportunity for folks to engage with you in that celebration. But, you know, there are marketers who zero in. How about Hallmark? Zeroing in. Cards and candy and candles or whatever, you know, folks zeroing in on these occasions. I've got so Mother's Day, Father's Day, the Curtis Candy Company had a lot to do, Curtis Candy. I forget what candy they made, or if they're still around. They've probably been bought out by somebody. They had a lot to do with the way we celebrate Halloween, that candy company. So you know, occasions. So Hallmark has a little card that tells you when holidays are coming up. Let's see. Oh, how'd you do on Grandparents' Day? Mid-September, September 13th, maybe. I'm trying to read the number, 10th? Something. I don't know what it was. This is an old, what year is it? Oh, it's a little older one. How'd you do on Grandparents' Day? Boss's Day is coming up. You can pretend I'm your boss. Get me a little card, maybe some chocolates. Sweetest Day. Oh, Hey, this is probably just a coincidence. Mother-in-law's day is real close to Halloween. It's probably just a coincidence. Okay, so occasions. Okay, that's a behavioral segmentation variable. How about benefits? This is maybe the most current, most recent segmentation variable, benefits. And you start off, what are your needs? What do you need? And then you have this need satisfying products that provide benefits to you. A way to think about it is products have attributes and features that translate into benefits. It's like the product of the product, attributes and features. So think about this. Let's see if this works. It doesn't work so much anymore because the world has turned. Thinking about toothpaste. What's the main thing you're after in toothpaste? What do you look for in toothpaste? When you think about that, yeah, this is the main thing I'm after. Okay. And then what brand do you purchase? Usually. Main thing I'm after, the brand you purchase. This used to kind of work, but what happened is, maybe I could even show you what happened. What's happened in recent history, to screw this example up, is the proliferation of all kinds of toothpaste. Look at, here's all these Colgate. Here's all these Crest. There's just version after version of toothpaste from the toothpaste manufacturer. Got Crest is all over the place here, Colgate all over the place, and then you got Aqua Fresh, Arm & Hammer. Got all the multiple versions of the product from the same company. So I used to do something like this, what do you look for? I look for cheap. I look for whitening, flavor, ADA approval. I look for decay prevention. I look for tar control. I want to see, what's that say? Oh, the dispenser. I want a cool dispenser. I want ground up, someone said branches from the Pilu product. I want ground up branches. I want flavor, What do I want? I want bubblegum flavored in a squirt bottle that's blue with sparkly things in it. Just like my kids used to use. Okay, so I do that. And then have you tell me the brand? And, we got Crest and Colgate. What's TJ? Trader Joe's. What the heck's that? Aqua Fresh, Arm & Hammer. Where's Pilu? Oh, there's Pilu right there. Pilu. I can't read that. AIM. Okay. You think the different things you're after from toothpaste and these different brands zeroing in on that benefit you're seeking. What's the main thing you're after? The product of the product. I want decay prevention. I want breath freshener. I want whitening. I want my kids to use the toothpaste and brush their teeth. What's the main thing I'm after? And certain brands would zero in on that benefit. Segment the market based on who wanted, here's what they want. Here's what they're after is the need that they want satisfied with these benefits, and then specify the details of who they are, right? You got this benefit segment, and then you add, starting with that, and then you add some psychographics, maybe demographics, to more precisely identify who those folks are. So that's benefit segmentation, maybe the most recent one. I'm getting close here. I'm getting close. The last behavioral thing I want to do is the heavy half phenomenon. The heavy half phenomenon. Maybe you've crossed paths with this before. Here it's called the heavy half. But maybe you've heard of the Pareto principle. That's like the sophisticated version of this. Or maybe you've heard of the 80-20 rule. That's what this is about. And so 80-20, I mean, it's like this law of nature. It's like the central limit theorem or something, you know, for like 80% of the complaints a business gets come from 20% of the customer, or 80% of their sales are 20% of their customers, or 80% of the books that are checked out of a library, whatever. Do people still do that? Uh, are for 20% of the books. You follow what I'm saying? There's this part of the market that is real active in whatever the area is, generating, buying my product, generating complaints about my product, access to books in the library. What books get checked out of the library? 20% checked out, represent 80% of what's checked out. So that's the 80-20, or the heavy half. That's what marketers are going to call it, the heavy half phenomenon. So what I've got here is a picture of this phenomenon. And here's how you do this. You take a product and you divide it into users, and non-users, okay? So here we got lemon, lime. This is kind of, I'm losing some of the letters here. Lemon, lime, soft drinks. Here we got cola, soft drinks. And so who are users, what percent of the market are non-users of lemon, lime? So it's 42% of the households. Then you got 50, I can do the math, 58% are users. So some folks don't even use it. But then you got the folks that are users. And here's what you do. Here's how you come up with this heavy half idea. You split the users at some median usage rate. And from statistics, you know that a median, half are above the median and half are below. And so that's what they've done. We've taken the users, that 58%, split them at some median usage rate where half are above and half below. See, 29, 29. And whatever that is, a 6-pack a week or a 6-pack a month or some median usage. And we split the market, and then we look at consumption. Those above the median usage rate, half are above, half are below, and those below. And look what we got. Here's the 80, call it 80-20, but here's, like 30% of the market's consuming 91% of the product. Okay? And you just call it 80-20, or heavy, as marketers would call it, the heavy half phenomenon. Let's see what else we got. How about, we got cola drinks, a lot more users of cola. So we got about 40% are consuming 90%. Just call it the heavy half. That half of the market, you split it of the users, split it at the median. Those that are on the high side of the median are consuming a lot of the product. And so you found this. They found this for all kinds of products. We got, okay, I don't know. How does this work? Check out the bottom of this thing. Here we got non-users of soap, non-users of toilet tissue. And then is that right? That's what it says. Are there really non-users? So the heavy, you got 50% of the market consuming 81% of the soap and detergent. We've got 50% of the market consuming 74. Okay, I don't know about that. Those numbers there on soap and detergent. Okay, here, let me ask you a question. Who here has a cat? You can confess to owning a cat. I want to ask you a personal question about your cat and how you take care of your cat. You got a cat box, or is this a free range cat? Kind of comes and goes and takes care of things outside. If you've got a cat box, let's talk. Are you a dumper or a scooper? What's a dumper do? The cap box gets a little soiled and you throw the whole thing out. What's a scooper do? Scooper do. That sounds okay. What's a scooper do? They scoop. They scoop stuff out of the cat box and get more mileage out of the cat box. Dumpers. Cat litter folks like you because you're a heavy user of the product. You're going through bags of this stuff because you're throwing it out. You're not recycling it by spending time to scoop and get more mileage out of it. How about this? This is marijuana usage in Colorado a few years ago. 9% of the state's population smoke marijuana or eat it or drink it or whatever you're doing, rubbing it on. And here's what they found. Here's, what do we got here? Percent of the market, percent of total users. Here's 20, call it 30% of the market. You see that? 30% of the market is using 87% of the product. They are heavy, they're the heavy users of marijuana products in Colorado. They're always stoned, okay? 30% consuming 87% of the marijuana. That's the heavy half. Marketers are interested in these folks. I mean, who are these folks, right? Like this one here. Here, I'll do my last one because it leads to what I want to do next. Here's beer. 68% of the households are not consumers of beer. We've got the what's 68? Is that 32? We got 32% of the market consume beer. We split it at a median, whatever it is, a 6-pack a week or a day or whatever that median is. And what do we show here? We've got 16% of the beer market, 16% of the households, okay? That heavy half part of the market, 16% of the market is consuming 88% of the beer. That's the heavy half phenomenon. Who are these folks? The 16% that are consuming 88% of the product. Who are these folks? You don't have to raise your hand. Who are these folks? Okay. Miller was real interested in who these folks were, you know, because Miller decided to pursue these folks. And who were they? They were younger. You know, here's what Miller was doing back in the day. You can search this. Old Miller beer ads. There's Harry and Madge. They're all dressed up. They had their beer in a champagne cooler. What the heck? You can look at one of these old ads. They're kind of hilarious. You know, that was Miller beer, the champagne, a bottled beer targeted at the light users. Maybe a female market, sippers of beer. And then Miller decided, let's go after the heavy half. Let's go after Rick, Ryan, and Sergio, these guys, younger guys, and who's not just, you know, they drink a little more beer than than Madge and Harry. Decided to pursue those folks. So they had this usage rate phenomenon, heavy half consumers. They looked at demographics. They were younger guys, more physical activities, showed ads of guys doing active things, riding ATVs and climbing whatever, doing whatever. And what else did they do? Had some demographics, had some psychographics, lifestyle stuff, and zeroed in on that group of folks. Used that usage rate phenomenon, added some demographics, psychographics, and came up with a more specific piece of the market. Okay, usage rate, heavy half phenomenon. And here's kind of the idea, you know. you can take a couple of variables. So you can combine multiple variables. That's the whole thing, okay? Here's one demographic variable. Don't look at the numbers. There's just income, okay? Yeah, that doesn't do much. Here we got two demographic, income and occupation, white collar, blue collar. Okay, yeah, I get into more specific parts of the market. Here we've lost some, we gained some. We got male, female, we got age, we got some race thing, we got some geographic thing, coming up with more specific parts of the market, okay? Identifying, adding these variables together, maybe geographic, use the demographic, use the psychographic, use the behavioral, and here's kind of a summary diagram. Geographic, climate, terrain, population density, these kind of things. Different regions and stuff have different desires with regard to products. Moving to demographics, this whole age, race, religion, occupation, social class, throw that in over there. That's where that belongs. That's demographics. Adding psychographics, how you spend time, money, activities, interest, opinions. It says personality, lifestyle. Yeah, lifestyle. And throw personality in there. And then this behavioral category, occasion, amount of usage, like heavy have, benefits sought. Okay, that's behavioral category there. That's segmentation. That's a little taste of the categories of segmentation variables that are at your disposal as a marketer. Okay, I wonder if my computer's going to shut down here. The next thing I'm going to do is give you an assignment that links to this topic, but you'll have to wait, and maybe that'll be a live thing I'll do. I'll show you that because this is a lot we've done today. Okay, 2 videos here. Okay, thank you, and we'll talk about a segmentation assignment probably next time we reconvene. Thanks, and see you again real soon.